Let's take you now back to the Durban Magistrates Court, where law enforcement authorities are briefing the media.
Police officers arrested them on Saturday, but the news broke on Monday. So we don't know how it happened. The names of those suspects immediately made it difficult for us to get the last two because they started running. And eventually we found them on Tuesday. That's why we had that late briefing on the day. So that has always been our strategy, and I'm glad that the team were able to put this strategy together as we're implementing. The members were very discreet, and we're able to keep it under wraps until we complete the picture. We do not want to get everyone excited about each arrest we make, because if we arrested one, we might likely not have been able to arrest the others. But because we're able to keep it under wraps until we have the whole picture completed and we bring it here, this society will be happy that we've got everyone, including the person who put the team together. Their commander, who actually paid them after the job, is also in the box. So that has been our plan.
Commissioner, do we know how much they were paid?
Well, that's going to be divulged in the court process. So since you are here, you've been granted permission to follow the process. You're going to hear as the evidence is unfolding. We can't talk about the evidence now.
Commissioner Linda from Newsroom Africa. You speak about the suspects being on the run after hearing, of course, that you had arrested others. We spoke to some family members who say that the reason why the ones that fled to Eswatini did so was because of a taxi war where police had also been involved in taking them out. So what is your response to that? And I'm asking because you're part of the team. The police are investigating this matter.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're investigating cases. We look for suspects. We get warrant of arrest for suspects. And we go to their residence and they are not there. And the family should have told us at the time that the people are looking for in this address. So we would have resolved this thing a long time ago. It's a mere fact they didn't tell us that. And we had to hunt them ourselves until we found them. I'm not going to then argue on what the family of those ones have said. We did our investigation according to how we're supposed to. So anyone that knows a suspect, a person wanted by the police, and they know why the person is not around, they must bring them to us. And it makes life easier for everyone.
A taxi war that is ongoing involving the families of some of the accused.
Yeah, well, until they tell me exactly what taxi wars they're talking about, I cannot speculate.
But also, as we've said, good citizens, if you hear that you were wanted by the police, you wake up next morning and you go to the police station and say, I did hear you were at my place. You will not cross the borders and run around and because you are scared of the police. Simple, go to the police and say, here I am, I heard you wanted. Make life easy for all of us, including the clients, including the police.
General, there's one question here. Sorry, Linda, there's a question here.
Commissioner, I just wanted to ask, on Tuesday you mentioned that the case is solid even without the two that are still in Swaziland, but today we're hearing that there might be delays with bringing them here to South Africa for the case. Will there ever be a possibility that the case continues without them? Do we need them? Are we expecting any delays just on that? What is your relationship, South Africa or the case commissioner with Swaziland? Is it a good one to have resource?
Perhaps the citizen needs to understand the justice system, how it operates. The police job is to investigate. We investigate, we allocate a suspect, we bring the suspect to court. What happens in court, it's the NPA that takes over. So I cannot talk about the processes in Swaziland. What I know, the police in Swaziland have brought a person into custody, and those are our counterparts. They've done the job. So what happens in the court in Swaziland is the prosecution in Swaziland and the court to talk about. And what happens here with regard to the case in relation to those that are at the other side, that's NPA is going to talk about it. So you need to understand the separation of responsibility in this regard. So we can't talk about the issues of the court because that's an NPA domain.
All right,
General, some would say it's worrying and concerning to see that most of the accused here are represented by not just lawyers, but some of Durban's top-notch lawyers. Isn't it a great for concern which raises eyebrows as to who's paying those lawyers? Because these are not just lawyers, top-notch.
Yeah, well, that's always a problem for us. We always talk, and we talk to the executive, the minister, and many other responsible senior people that we work with. That for every criminal, sometimes it's a person who's unemployed, and to pitch up here and get me represented by the very expensive lawyer, it's a concerning. It just says to us, it brings question is whether are these lawyers doing this thing because they want to serve, make sure that people get the rights in terms of the law, or they're doing it for money. So we tend to suspect that maybe the latter could be the motive why the lawyers are doing what they're doing. But I'm not a lawyer, so I was never a lawyer. I don't have an LLB. I don't know what entails, under what circumstances to represent someone. But it's a worry. It is a worry for us, but it is there. It's prescribed in the Constitution, so we can't take it away.
All right, let's close it off with Linda.
So again, on the issue around extradition, can you just give us clarity? Do you know whether you'll be...
Sir, I want to stop you right there. Anything that is in court, talk to NPA. So anything about the investigation, talk to the police.
That's fine, and I'm asking this, the reason why I'm asking this is because there's been lessons learned around the Makudumane matter, Minister. You'll remember there was an issue of deportation where the police were also involved. So I'm asking this on the basis that are we sure what is happening there and what processes you're embarking on and the level of involvement that you as the SABC are going to get into.
Extradition is on different kind of categories. This one should be done by NPA, that is the Department of Justice. Whether it's UAE, as you know, that there was that issue of those coming there. Department of Justice here was dealing with the Ministry of Justice on the other side. When you talk of Makudumane from Tanzania, those people who were arrested, they had to be handed over. So the law say you don't hand over to the South African Police Service, you hand over to the immigration. That's why they were collected by the Department of Home Affairs, were not collected by the South African Police. On this one, I know that the Minister of Justice already had contact with the Minister of Justice on the other side. But as it's out of the police hands, it's on justice. It could be, if not justice, it could be the immigration. As by law, you don't hand over to police, you hand over to immigration if that person is convicted. So those kinds
All right, there you have it. There, the Police Minister Bheki Cele, as well as the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, briefing the media following this very high-profile case. We will be. Let's just listen in to Jade Polsa.
This case, saying they could not have any information leaked, as they were still looking for the two suspects, and therefore they could not divulge the information, or that the two suspects had fled to Eswatini. So this is what has emerged. We are in the know that the court proceedings will commence on the 6th of March, where the bail verification process will take place.